Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at, well, basically the wielder of Thunder Magic, Glorio, and just how good he is in DBZ Dokkan Battle. Now, I only managed to find a 79% version of Glorio, so if that is not what you're looking for, I do apologize. I didn't manage to pull him in a summon. I didn't summon for him, but I do have found a friend that is 79%. Now, Glorio is a very interesting unit, incredibly limited in terms of categories, massively limited, but functionally still quite good. Demonic Power lead of 200%, category Key +3, Battle Wits or Accelerated Battle categories lead of 170%, and extra 30% for characters who belong to Dragon Ball Seekers. Greatly raises his attacking defense for 1 turn on his super, whilst also causing immense damage to the enemy, lowering their attack, and also giving himself attack of 9% and defense of 6% per super that he does. He is, for all intents and purposes, a good unit. And in fact, he's a really good unit. He activates his entrance animation upon his entrance only, and will launch a additional super attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack for the 1 turn only. He has Key +3, attacking defense of 200%. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super every single turn. He launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super if he's a second or third attacker in the turn. He has a 50% evasion chance as a baseline. He gives all allies Key +3, attacking defense of 50% for 3 turns as the third attacker in the turn, which is his primary objective and very, very good. Gets an additional attack and defense of 150% when attacking. He gets a additional attack and defense of 50% per super performed in the turn, which is also amazing. Gets an additional attack of 30% and evasion chance of up to 10% with each super attack performed, also amazing. And he launches an additional super attack every time he performs a super attack 3 or more times in battle. It's a lot to take in. He has a active skill that greatly raises attack temporarily whilst causing ultimate damage to the enemy. But the big thing with him, before we talk into anything, is he is an absolute machine when it comes to being a floating sport. Like, his primary role in life is to be an absolutely exceptional floating sport, and if you build him with crit, he can be an absolutely exceptional floating damage dealer or support as well. So he's really, really great as that second slot, third slot unit. Definitely third slot. He provides a huge boost to the rest of the team for 3 turns, which is something that is absolutely amazing. But yeah, generally speaking, he's really, really good. He just is one of those really top tier units. Now, he, of course, how can I say, he, of course, in terms of build, additionals is something that's really, really solid. Of course, people like additionals because of just the huge levels of defensive security it gives them, and obviously the fact that it allows them to build himself up really quickly. But crit is also important because he doesn't have any crit built in, and he does have a lot of additionals already built in. So kind of a 50-50 split. Giving him some crit is great because with all those super attacks and all that attack build up, giving him crit is going to allow him to do some really, really nuts damage, which I think is super important if you are looking to really get the best out of him. So I think that's super important. But other than that, what I would say is, for me, functionally, as a unit, I would have to say that I think his major performance for me is in being an amazing floating sport. I think that's just where he is absolutely fantastic. I think that's where he is just a beast. I think he's amazing, and I think he just has significantly enhanced output comparative to other units. Like, I just think that's where he shines so heavily as a unit, and just is amazing. Of course, I think his biggest issue is his limitations. He is quite limited in terms of category, and his link set as well is not the craziest. Brainiac, Solid Sport, Cold Judgment, Speedy Retribution, Shocking Speed, Master of Magic, Fierce Battle. It's not a terrible link set, but it's not one that's going to set the world alight. You probably want to get Brainiacs and Cold Judgment, but getting both of those links together is not necessarily super duper easy. To be honest with you, it's not the easiest of, you know, like mechanisms. It's not the easiest in terms of, you know, like abilities to have done. So I think there is kind of a little bit of a limitation on, you know, like him due to just how limited he is, which is probably why they made him so good, because they knew he would be limited. He is absolutely a beast on all the categories that he's on. I think that's very clear, very obvious, and I think, you know, ultimately for me, he's a really great unit that I definitely suggest to people. If you do have him, use him, because I think he's one of those units that will be lost a little bit in time, just due to how limited he is, but I think is such a fun, amazingly cool unit to use. You know, such a support lined, like brilliant unit that just does a ton of really cool stuff. So I, for one, am super duper impressed with him. I think he's really a ton of fun. I think definitely, obviously, dupes help him a lot, mainly offensively, because like I said, the dupes let you give him a lot of crit, and the crit combined with how many supers he can already baseline do, combined also with the fact that you could give him a potential another one from his hidden potential system, means that he can start really outputting a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. So yeah, all in all, really good. Links, like I said, probably the biggest issue. Shocking speed, I guess, is your focal point from a key point of view. If you can get Core Judgment or Brainiacs, that is definitely something I would suggest, as those are really good and help them out from a raw defensive output point of view. And that's definitely something, obviously, every unit wants to a certain degree. You want that additional defense because you want that top level defensive performance. But yeah, really that's probably it. I would say there's not really too much else to say. I think he is incredibly solid. I think he's a great unit. I think, you know, for me, there's not a lot to complain about, and I'm super duper happy with how well he has performed. So if you are interested in him, he's a great unit. There's no reason not to be. And I think you'll be very impressed. Bye.